Hello everybody. Today I'm here to talk about the TV shows that I watched during October, November and December. The first three shows I've already done a mini review talking about them, which is Imperfects, The Witcher Season 3 and American Horror Story Season 11. So I will add that in the cards for you guys if you are interested in hearing any of my thoughts about those. But continuing it on straight into the TV shows that I watched in November, and I believe I only had two. This is going to be a very short video. The first one being Loki Season 2, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars, and oh my god was this sad. I love how we got back to the roots, excuse the pun, of the Norse mythology and reminding us all and Loki that Loki is a Norse god and he can accomplish great things. And I also love how everything tied up in the end, but oh my gosh, my heart was breaking. Loki is one of my all-time favourite characters, particularly within the Marvel universe, and him not being in the movies and the franchises any longer was just heartbreaking as it was anyway. So this TV show was just everything to me. I just can't believe it's over. The back of my head thinking, oh yeah, there'll be a season 3, but no, this was the end, and it was a phenomenal way to end the whole Loki saga. Next up, I watched a documentary on Netflix, and this was Escaping Twin Flames, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. It was something I remember hearing loosely about in the past, I think through YouTube or something. I think I might have watched like a true crime drama of someone talking about it on YouTube, to be fair, but it was still like information that I hadn't seen compiled in this sort of way. It was a harrowing 3-part docu-series about a couple who had built their business by coaching people on how to find their true love. It was basically a cult, and as cults go, a sick one. It fed on people's insecurities and brainwashed them into believing anything and everything that they were told, as well as forcing others to conform to their ideals. I think the saddest part of this is the amount of stigma it threw into the trans community, but as someone said in the show, trans people are all about taking ownership of their bodies and doing what feels right to them, whereas the leaders of the cult told people that you are either a divine masculine or a divine feminine, and you need to transition if you are put into that category by them for their own needs, even if you've never felt that way in your life. It was so sad to see how exploitative of people's emotions and their bodies that this cult had over them, and how they're still financially successful even now. This was a really fascinating case to learn about, and how it's still got its long-lasting effects on people that have even left, the families that have been left behind, and the people that are still within that process currently. Yeah, it was a lot. Flipping onto something more light-hearted and entertaining, I watched Goosebumps on Disney Plus, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And it came out at such a good time for me, I feel, because I had recently just read a couple of the newer Slappy World books. Although I wasn't overall like a fan of those, the show I knew was going to pull me in. I thought it was going to be great fun, and it was. I loved how the first block of episodes felt like short little stories woven into a main plot, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that the possessed teacher arc acted the part really well, until I realised that's just how he acts. Even times when he wasn't possessed, he kind of still acted a bit too animated for me, like upon reflection, especially when you know that the character that was the ghost possessing him, without spoiling too much, wasn't such a regressed age that he was kind of putting on. It was just a bit too exaggerated in some ways, but it was still fun. Once the main storyline came to a close, I was surprised that there were more episodes. I thought that they would just wrap it up and finish, but there were a couple more after that. I was hoping that they'd do a Slappy versus the Mummy episode, because I think that's one of the stories from the newer books that I found to be a bit entertaining. And they did go for that, but it was interesting the direction it took. It wasn't exactly true to the newer story of Slappy versus the Mummy, but they had an interesting twist on that. It worked out, I think. Overall, this was definitely a fun show. It's pretty cringe at times, but it worked, you know. And in December, I watched Trese, which I gave a 5 stars. It actually, before I get into the depths of it, it reminded me of Division X, which is a book I recently read by August Hill. And it also reminded me of this comic I read once about a witch cop. I think I only read like 1 issue of it, but I enjoyed it and I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, this was such a good show. I just wish there was more than 1 season, and there's only 6 episodes in the season. It's adapted from a Filipino manga. The city of Manila, there are dark supernatural forces that pervade the criminal underworld. It's up to Alexandra Trese to keep the peace, but there is a storm brewing. It was absolutely fantastic. I love the art style, I love the plot. Each episode stood well on its own, but the plot direction, weaving it all together, was just as fantastic. I just want to know what happens next. Like, it feels like there's more to it. I don't know in terms of the manga how many like volumes there are and if it explores more than the TV show was given, but as of what I've managed to briefly research, there is only ever 1 season made. I thought maybe like another streaming service or something might have the rights to it or whatever, you know how sometimes they do, but it doesn't look like there exists to be a season 2, so maybe I'll have to see if I can find an English adaptation of the manga or something to get more that I want. It does feel like it wrapped up well enough, but I just feel like there's so much more in the world that could happen. So yeah, those are my thoughts of the TV shows that I watched. As I say, I've already got a separate video talking about the first 3 shows that I watched, but yeah, for now that is me done. Thank you so much for watching. I shall catch you in another video soon. Bye.